This video is to review the lesson 8.3 content, how to use percents to solve problems. When we hear the statement 25% of 12 is 3, it has 3 numbers. In real life problems, any one of these numbers can be unknown. So if your question is, what is 25% of 12? The missing number is 3, and we're trying to find part of a number. 3 is 25% or part of 12. 3 is what percent of 12? Which number is missing? That would be the 25%, so you're finding the percent. And then 3 is 25% of what? Which number would be missing? 12. You're trying to find the whole. So we're going to start by finding the whole. 25 marbles is 50% of blank marbles. And so for this one, I'm going to write my percent as a ratio. So 50 to 100 is 50%. My problem says 25% is, or 24 is 50%. So I'm going to write 24 lined up with that part. And I'm trying to find the whole. And so for this one, I can use just some mental math reasoning. Since 50 is half of 100, 24, I need to find what's twice as much as 24 to figure out the whole. And so I can fill in 48. 24 is 50% of 48. 9 stores is 3% of blank stores. Again, I'm going to fill in my percent as my ratio to 100. So here's my 3% written as a ratio, 3 to 100. It's telling me 3%, 9 stores is 3%. So 9 is going to line up with that 3. And I'm going to use some mental math to solve this time. Thinking about, okay, how do I go from 3 to 9? Multiplying by 3. So I have to do the same, multiply by 3 here. So my answer would be 300 stores. 9 stores is 3% of 300 stores. 75% of blank peaches is 15 peaches. Again, I'm going to write that percent in my ratio. And I know that 75% of a certain number of peaches is 15. So 15 goes with my 75. And so I'm thinking, 75 to 15, what do I need to do? Well, if I take 75 and divide by 5, I get to 15. So I'm going to do the same thing with the 100. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 75% of 20 peaches is 15 peaches. In a survey, 27% of the people chose salads over a meat dish. In all, 81 people chose salads. How many total people were in the survey? And I'm going to start with writing my percent compared to 100. That's my ratio, 27 to 100. It's telling me 27% chose salads, and that number is 81 people, so that matches up. So I'm going to use my mental math, or if you need to pop open your calculator, you can. 27 times 3 gets me to 81. So I'm going to do 100 times 3. That means 300 total people were in the survey. All right, now we're going to find part of a number, and we're going to use the decimal version of our percents and multiply. So 15% of $9 is blank dollars. So if I was going to give you 15% of my $9, how much money would I give you? So I'm going to change my 15% into the decimal version, 15 hundredths. So think about if we colored that into a grid, 15 out of 100. And then I'm going to use my calculator or my brain to multiply by 9, and I get 1 and 35 hundredths. So you would get $1.35. Dino completed 40% of a 50-question assignment. How many questions did he complete? This time I'm going to use my proportional reasoning, so I'm going to put my 40 as my ratio to 100, 40 out of 100. He completed 40% of a 50-question assignment. So this time we know the whole. The whole assignment is 50 questions, and we're trying to figure out the part. How many questions is 40%? So I'm going to think through. To go from 100 to 50, I'm dividing by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2, and I find out that he completed 20 questions. Yesterday, Nelson sent 60 text messages. He said that 15% of those messages were sent to his best friend. How many messages did Nelson send to his best friend? So again, here is 15%. So I'm going to put that in my ratio. And then he sent a total of 60 messages. And so I'm going to put that over here. But when we get to ones like this where we cannot see the easy mental math reasoning, I'm going to go back to that strategy where I'm going to take my percent, 15, change it to a decimal, and then I'm going to multiply it by 60. I'm doing it this way because it's not easy to get from 100 to 60 using a whole number. So I can use my calculator or my brain. I'm going to multiply 15 hundredths by 60 to get 9. So that means he sent 9 messages to his friend. Again, this 15 came from 15% as a decimal. We can think about that as 15 out of 100. All right, now we're going to find the percent. 12 is blank percent of 200. So when we're thinking about this, we're trying to solve for our percent, which is our ratio of 100. We know the part is 12. We know the whole is 200, and we're trying to solve for this percent. And so I can think in my brain, okay, well, to go from 100 to 200, I multiply by 2. So this number times 2 would get me to 12. And so that means that must be 6. 6%. 12 is 6% of 200. I can check this by taking 12 to 200 and making that into that division problem on my calculator. If I take 12 divided by 200, I get the decimal 600ths, which I know is the same as 6%. 42 of the 200 employees at Carlos's car repair wear contact lenses. What percent of employees wear contact lenses? So again, we're solving for the percent, that ratio to 100. We know that 42 out of the whole 200 wear contact lenses, and so I can fill in that part. And then I'm going to use some mental math. So I know 100 times 2 will get me to 200. So I have to think, what times 2 will get me to 41? Well, that would be 21. So 21%. Again, if I want to check this, I can take my ratio that I solved, 42 to 200, and if I do this on my calculator as a division problem, I will get the decimal 21 hundredths, which is the same as 21%. All right, if 6,000 people voted in the election, how many were from 18 to 29 years old? So we have to go to our graph down here, and we see that 10% were 18 to 29. And so I'm going to write that 10% as my ratio compared to 100. And this time I'm trying to solve the part, the number of people that were 18 to 29 that voted. And they told me that there were 6,000 total people that voted. So to solve this, I'm going to think about how do I go from 100 to 6,000. And so I can use mental math or my calculator. 100 times 60 will get me to 6,000. So 10 times 60 will get me to 600. That means this was 600 people. All right, another one using this graph. Now, if we said 12,000 people voted in the election, how many were from 50 to 64 years old? So we're going to look at this section of the pie chart. And so we're going to start with our percent we know. Write that as a ratio compared to 100. There's my 35%. I know that there were a total of 12,000 people that voted in the election. And I'm trying to find out the part, the number of people that were in this part, the 50 to 64 age. So I'm going to use some mental math to think 100 times 120 will get me to 12,000. So then I'm going to do 35 times 120, and I get to 4,200. So this represents in this problem 4,200 people. Your job today is to go into Module 8 and complete the Lesson 8.3 exit ticket. Use your notes, use your calculator. It is 7 points, and due tomorrow you have 3 opportunities to do your best. With the remaining time, work on any missing assignments you have. Have a good day.